Spin.
Unspun World, Saturday at 12:30 on BBC News and iPlayer.
Live from London, this is BBC News. Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson deliberately misled Parliament over breaches of COVID rules. Those are the damning findings from a committee of MPs. The devastating report says if Boris Johnson was still an MP, it would recommend his suspension for 90 days.
I'm Nancy Kachingira in Westminster. From here and beyond, we're getting all the reaction to this blistering report.
The search continues for hundreds of migrants after a crowded boat sank off the southern coast of Greece. Reports say up to 750 people may have been on board, including 100 children. And NATO defence ministers announced new funding and support for Ukraine. We'll speak live to a former NATO Deputy Secretary General. Hello, I'm Matthew Amroliwala and welcome to Verified Live. 3 hours of breaking stories and checking out the truth behind them. So let's start very much in Westminster, that damning report that's been published, which says the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson deliberately and repeatedly misled MPs about parties in Downing Street when coronavirus lockdown measures were in place. Well, that's the conclusion of that report by a committee of MPs, which says it would have recommended suspending him as an MP for 90 days if he hadn't already stood down after he was given that advanced copy of the report last week. It also recommends that the former Prime Minister should not receive a member's pass, which allows ex-MPs to access Parliament after they leave. Well, Boris Johnson has admitted his statements about the parties misled Parliament, but denied doing so intentionally. He described today's report as rubbish and lies. Well, let's go straight to Westminster and straight back to Nancy Kachingira, who's there for us. And Nancy, you said it there in the headlines. This is an absolutely blistering report, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, Matthew. 30,000 words, and all of them adding up to 2